My name is Ella, and I go to Hoover Elementary. It's a good school. But up till now, I didn't know much about the person it was named after. I live in the state of Iowa, Bettendorf to be exact. Over spring break, my daddy and I decided to make a short trip to West Branch, the birthplace of former President Herbert Hoover. Here in the middle of America stands the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum. Every president gets one. They built it here in West Branch because a long time ago, before I was born, before my parents were born, even before my grandparents and great-grandparents were born, a baby named Herbert Clark Hoover came into this world. He was born on August 10, 1874, to Jesse and Huldah Hoover. They were Quakers, like the oatmeal, and this is where they went to church. In their church, men and women sat on separate sides. I think I'm on the right side. They didn't have central heating back then, so they had to cut down wood and burn it in here to stay warm. They also didn't know how to use concrete yet, so all their sidewalks were made out of wood. And over there's a creek. I wonder if Herbert ever swam down there. And this is the house that Herbert Hoover was born in. Pretty small, huh? He was born in a house because back then there weren't many hospitals. What makes it even more amazing is that 5 children lived in this house. The mommy and daddy slept in the bed, and the kids slept in the slide out. The little babies slept in the cradles. I hope nobody snored too loud. There's a few toys that the kids could play with. This is the living room and dining room all in one, but there's no restroom. Back then, even on those cold Iowa winter nights, if they had to use the restroom, they had to walk all the way outside to this place. It's called an outhouse. Times were tougher then. They cut their own wood to cook with and stay warm. And if they needed water, they used this well pump. They didn't have laundry machines, but had to hang their clothes with these. Right across from the house was their father's blacksmith shop. He came to work here every day. He would fix all the farmers' equipment because most people were farmers back then. Sadly, the dad died because he got sick. Same with the mom. See, they didn't have very good medicine back then. And right this way, there's an old one-room schoolhouse, just like the one Herbert Hoover would have studied in. It's a lot different from my school, but 2 + 2 still equaled 4, and the alphabet still had 26 letters in it. I wonder how Mrs. McKissick would have liked to have had this as her classroom. After his parents died, Herbert Hoover moved to Oregon to live with his aunt and uncle. He went to college at Stanford and became a geologist. That's a person who studies rocks. There are 29 schools in Iowa named after Hoover. This one is ours, the Hoover Hawks. Herbert Hoover is the only president to come from Iowa. He died in 1964 when he was 90 years old. He had 2 children and 5 grandchildren, one of which is still alive. And they all came from the one man who was born in that little house, where he breathed his first breath, cried his first tear, and later went on to lead our great nation.